All right, we are back on another episode, and today we have Christine Walker with At Ease Magazine. Christine, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we've been connected for a while, and you've got the magazine going for a bit, and we can get into that in just a few seconds. But just share with us a little bit of your history, like your time in the service, and what you did, and why you decided to get out, and what you're doing now.
So I went in delayed entry program, and it was so different back then. When I was in, now they have buses, and you stay at a hotel overnight, and then you go to Maps, and you do all your stuff. No, I drove myself to our Maps on a early, who knows what day it was. I don't even remember. Some weekday. Drove there like 7:30 in the morning, got there, did my test, did my physical, did everything, took my oath, was sworn in, and then got in my car at noon and drove away and went back
Wow.
home. So it was very different. But I come from a long line of people who have served in the military, about 15 family members,
Wow. Nice.
from World War One all the way up to, well, Desert Storm, because we're
Uh,
all older now. So,
uh,
um, but yeah, so grandfather served, great aunt was a flight nurse in the Army Air Corps during World War II, and then the Air Force during Korea. And we just, that was just kind of our niche in our family. Everybody served both sides of the family, and so it was a natural progression for me to just join the Navy. So I joined the Navy in 1990 and served during. I was actually in boot camp when Desert Storm started on
mm,
January 17th, 1991. And that was interesting because originally our boot camp was supposed to be, I think, 10 weeks, and they shaved it down to 8. And
oh
so
wow.
all the ceremonial accoutrements that we were supposed to learn went away. And it was just kind of down and dirty, get them through boot so they can get to A school. Because, of course, at the time we didn't know how long it was going to last. So got to A school. War ended pretty much when I was in A school, and then I was stationed at Camp Lejeune Marine Corps Base. I got sibling duty with my brother who served. He was a helo mechanic at New River Air Force Base, Marine.
Mm.
So we got sibling duty. I got there, and literally 2 weeks after I got there, he got deployed for pretty much the entire time I was there.
Oh
So
wow.
So I'm like, dang it, I should have gone to Pendleton. Anyway, but it was good. And then of course in 1990, I guess Congress passed it in 91. After Desert Storm, they were doing a massive, um, I guess what would you call it? It would be more like a just diminishing the fleet force and diminishing, you know, um, military. And so I had gone in as a reservist, went active duty in A school, and then uh, I got notified that, oh, by the way, your service is no longer needed,
Huh.
with the cuts, with the force and reduction in force. So I was like, no, because I didn't have a plan B. So
Mm,
I got a little over 2 years in, wasn't happy about that at all. Still am not happy about that, but
yeah.
what can you do? So
Yeah.
when you're low rank and you go in as a reservist and you go active duty, you're on the chopping block. So
Yeah.
if you're getting ready to retire or you're, low rank, you are at the whim of whatever your command decides. So
Right.
anyway, I got out and had no plans, no plan whatsoever. And of course, this was back in 93. So there were no VSOs there. I mean, you had DAB, you had American Legion, you had VFW. I didn't know what any of those things were. I didn't even know they were veteran related. I mean, I knew Veterans of Foreign War, obviously, but American Legion, I had no idea. So I had nobody, there was no exit. Um, I guess now they have like a whole, you start your exit like a year before you're actually discharged, and you go through classes and you get training and you get resume help and you try to convert what you've done in the military to, there was none of that. So I was just kind of flying by the seat of my pants.
Sounds
And
fun.
well, it, what was weird was I was a corpsman. So I served as a Navy corpsman. I was stationed at the Nav Hosp at Lejeune. And I remember, a lot of the guys we treated were coming back from the Gulf with very unique and symptoms, and we didn't know how to treat them, and the doctors didn't know how to treat them, and we were briefed all the time about don't talk to the press, don't tell them anything, don't do this. And it's like, I'm not going to talk to him anyway. So it was very, you're dealing with life and death, and then you get out and you're like, oh, so you go to a regular job. My first job after I got a job at a pizza place,
Mm.
and the manager was pretty high strung, and he's like, "Oh, you have to do it this way and do it that way," and I'm like, "Dude, it's a pizza.
Yeah.
It's not like." And he didn't like my attitude because I wouldn't join him in his crazy. So I'm like, okay, I don't think this is for me. So then I kind of, just did whatever to pay the bills. And eventually I found my way to the Texas Peace Officer Academy, went through that, passed my TCLOS exam, and then immediately went to California working as private security. And I ended up working as the security coordinator for a pharmaceutical company
Mm.
in Southern California. So, and I was in charge of all the security, the physical security, the security team, because we were not only a manufacturing plant, we were also a research and development plant. So we had a lot of threats against us and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that's what I did. And then eventually I went into a nonprofit sector and just really did that for about 10, 12, 15 years. And then about 8 years ago, 7 years ago, I can't remember. I ended up getting a job at a little newspaper, which I loved. It was just a little supplement job. And I fell in love with publishing.
Mm.
And I've always been a writer. I've been a graphic designer for 25 years uh, on the side, and I really taught myself everything. And then after working at the newspaper, a friend of mine started our own publishing company, did a little community rag, and around 2020, um, it wasn't enough. Like I was just getting back into the veteran community because for 25 years I pretended not to be a vet,
Mm.
and I didn't have any of the camaraderie, any of the connection with
Yeah.
the veteran community. And so I was getting back into that. And I decided, you know what? I want to start my own magazine, something that's real and organic and raw and doesn't, tie everything up with a pink bow. I wanted
Yeah.
something that was real. And so we started Devil Dog Publishing and Addie's Veterans Magazine in the summer of 2020 and published our first inaugural edition in March of 2021. And
Nice.
that's kind of my quick backstory.
Yeah, no, that's great. A lot of vets, a lot of vets go into business, I think, after they get out of service or want to start a business, and some, of course, look for jobs and stuff. And the business side has always been, it is a challenge, of course, and obviously you've walked that route. Um, but as far as the magazine, like what kind of I guess what kind of articles do you publish? What's in the magazine? What can somebody find in it that's never seen it before?
So lately, I've been comparing our magazine to like an '80s mullet.
Mm.
So we have the print, and then we also have an e-magazine, a flipbook version that's free.
Mhm.
This is our paid subscription print edition. It has everything. We have a section called DD 214 and Beyond, which our writer talks about transition and dealing with the emotions a lot that come with it. Um, we do cover stories on people like Ryan Weaver and Ray Cash Care, and we did Lieutenant Colonel Stuart Scheller, Lieutenant General uh, Robert Flowers. We've
Mm.
just done a lot of high level vets, and we just tell their story. And we've got some military history, we've got some veterans in business, we've got a Green Beret that also has a feature called Warrior Wisdom. Larry Broughton, he's a prolific hotelier. He owns, I think, 6 or 7 hotels, and
Wow.
but he's a vet, so he writes for us, and he has this feature. We have about 9 feature writers, 6 staff writers, and then we have anywhere from 10 to 15 contributing writers every issue. And
Nice.
it's whatever they want. I don't tell them what to write. Like our staff writers, yes. But even I'm like, what do you want to write about? Okay, that works for me. Because for me, it's not about control as the editor in chief. It's more about giving them a voice however they want to voice.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
whatever stories they want to tell, whatever articles they want to write, I just let them have full reign. And then when we're editing, we also are very, very careful not to remove their voice, not to rewrite it, because this is a magazine that is written 100% by veterans for veterans. So we're not watering anything down. We're not we don't sugarcoat. We just, whatever the article is what it is. And all we do is just, zhuzh it up a little bit, and then with the layout, hopefully it has some power packed to it. So yeah, we have everything. So I liken this
Nice.
to an '80s mullet.
Yeah.
Business in the front and party in the back. So we've got an illustrator, and we've got a crossword, and we've got a little bit more off color stories, or things like that. So a little bit of that dark military humor. So
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. Okay.
so it's everything. There literally is something for everybody in this magazine.
Gotcha. Now, now a lot of companies, I'm sure, probably a lot of them, they I don't want to say cater to veterans, but they work with veterans. For example, like there's well, obviously Black Rifle Coffee, but there's like
Right?
Under Armour, and there's a lot of other companies that offer discounts or services to veterans and military personnel. Do you guys work with any types of companies like that? Like if I was a company, or if there was one listening to this, or like how would they be able to sponsor? Do they work with you? Is there collaborations? How does that work?
Absolutely. So we have amazing sponsors, by the way, and most of them are veteran. If you're a veteran-owned business, talk to me, because like this is William Brannon. He was on the cover of
Yeah.
22 summer issue, but he also owns Naked Warrior Recovery, and so it's CBD. And
Mm.
the product comes from Hawaii. It's very vetted, and so it's in line with the Farm Act. So we have that. We also have Patchox. He's
Oh,
a
nice.
Marine, and he does really cool patches and stuff like that. So he's one of our sponsors. We work with nonprofits, we work with authors, we work with this is now this isn't paid, but we have a great relationship with the Army Sappers,
Okay.
and so we've been working with them for years. Um, the Army Sapper Association, and Revolution Coffee. We just have everything. We have a guy who's the Christian Garrick show in Louisiana,
Oh, yeah.
and so he's a conservative talk show host, a Marine, and so we work with him. I mean, we're very, very much about that connection, and we have literally cumulatively, excuse me, getting tripping over my words. Um, we have built total. I think we've reached about 75,000 veterans,
Oh, nice.
and that is just through relationship building, just
Very good.
through networking and relationship building and doing stories and getting contributing writers. We've reached tens of thousands of vets, and every issue we have thousands of readers who are reading this. So we're always looking for affinity sponsors. We've got room, and we've got
Gotcha.
room to grow, although we are up to 96 pages now.
Wow.
It's a perfect
Okay.
bound 96 page full color professionally designed magazine. But we're always looking for sponsors. We're always looking for
Sure.
partners to partner with us. We have an ambassador program um, where I create a discount code, and if people subscribe with that discount code, they get a percentage off, and then whoever the code is for gets 10%
Oh,
of
might have to
of
take you up on that.
So we've got a
Yeah.
lot of things going. And contributing writers, we're always open. I've never said no to an event. I may have said wait, but I don't know if I'll ever say no.
Nice. Very
Because
nice.
I want their voice heard.
Sure.
Every veteran has a story to tell. I don't care if you were in for 2 years like me, and I even have stories.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that kind of thing. Military history. Um, we've done a lot of military history, World War I. We have something for everyone. So there's
Very good.
always something, and we tackle issues head on. Whether it's Gulf War, whether it's vaccine injury, whether it's we don't care. We want to be able to. We believe that every veteran has a story to tell
Yeah. For
in
sure.
whatever form that may come. So sometimes it's expertise, sometimes it's business acumen, sometimes it's funny stories, sometimes it's history, sometimes it's their own story. My assistant editor is was a radioman in the Marine Corps during Vietnam, and he was
Oh, wow.
only on the DMZ. And he was a prolific photographer, and he's also a phenomenal writer. So we tell a lot of those stories because newer generations need to hear
Yeah.
stories from our Vietnam vets and
For
I
sure.
don't think there's very many World War II or Korea left, but
Yeah.
certainly Vietnam, Gulf. And then now, our OEF, OIF vets are definitely coming into some age. And so now they're becoming mentors to younger veterans who are getting out now.
Yeah.
So
Definitely. Yeah.
so there's a lot of that we do. And we're very, very open. We're very open. We don't limit. We've had like a Navy chief who does hydroponic gardening, which is
Mhm.
amazing.
Very
Um,
cool. Yeah.
we had another Air Force vet who talked about chickens and this organization that helps provide chickens for people who want to start kind of that homesteading thing.
Yeah.
Um, we've got really raw stories of combat. One of our contributing writers, Sergeant Major Greg Leal, he was at the invasion of Iraq in 2003. And so we just published his coffee table book. It's a collection of short stories and poems about the invasion, what they went through, and just the chaos that ensued, and then the fallout and the aftermath and the PTSD that followed, and just getting really real about that, because we can't deal with things unless we're actually facing them head on. So,
Yeah, for sure. Awesome.
so,
Okay.
and some of the things in the back of the magazine are a little irreverent, but we just started a feature called Chow Call. So everybody in the military has a chow hall story, a mess hall story.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
so we're actually including those and recipes that go along with them, but
Oh,
maybe a
cool.
little bit more zhuzhed up. So they're edible now.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, well, some of those MREs were okay. You got to get creative with them, but
Right.
yeah.
Well, and I hear Tabasco was a very hot commodity. I've never
Yeah.
eaten MRE.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I hear they're not very friendly to your digestive system.
That is true. Yeah, especially when you get the ones that are like everybody loved the jalapeno cheese packets. Like those were good too, but yeah. Anyway, that's another story. So
That's a
but,
story for alcohol.
yeah, exactly.
So
Uh well, Christine, before we let you go, if anybody wants to learn more about your magazine, if any company or brand or business hears this and they want to reach out to you, become a sponsor and work with you, what's the best way for everyone to get a hold of you?
So you can reach me at Christine at docpublishing.com, or you can also reach us through at easeveteransmagazine.com.
Okay.
Now, just to clarify, there's another At Ease magazine. That's not us. We're At Ease Veterans Magazine. And you can reach us if you type in At Ease Veterans, we will come up on Google. So,
Gotcha. Okay.
yep. And we're
Perfect.
very open. So, get in touch with us. Let us, put your ad in our magazine. If you're a veteran owned business or a veteran owned organization, I have a really phenomenal deal going right now.
Perfect.
So we promise you will not find print advertising at that cost, but it's just for my brothers and sisters who own
Sure.
businesses. So, and if you're not a veteran owned, we'll take your ad too. So we're
Right.
not, exclusive to vet owned businesses, but
Sure. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. I know you got something else coming up here just shortly. I'm actually going to really look forward to that interview in the next episode. I don't know if we can talk about that, but we'll save that for later. But yeah, I know
yes.
you got that going on. Thank you again so much for taking the time out. We appreciate you coming out and sharing information about your magazine and sharing everything that is in it. And hopefully, some more vets and military members will find some really good value in that and reach out, share their story, have a place to talk.
Yeah, share your story, your expertise, whatever. We're very open. So get in touch with me and let's have a conversation.
Great. Sounds good. All right. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you.